Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. And of course, this is how the show looks like tonight. We'll be talking about what Nigerian Football Federation, what they've achieved in the last 1 year, because they had a press conference earlier today to talk about the achievements and also what they're looking forward to in the years to come. It's 1 year in office, September 30th, yes, that's when the election held. During that time, we had different tournaments from the under-17 women to the under-20 men, and also the FIFA Women's World Cup, where Super Falcons had a fantastic performance. And also you're talking about the Super Six that also happened, talking about the Nigerian League. And also we'll delve on to chess. That's the National Chess Championship. It's currently going in Orchid Lekki Club. And of course, we have a comprehensive review and preview of what happened, what went down in the opening ceremony. The UEFA Champions League is also going to get our attention. Manchester United, is a 1-1 right now at halftime. Arsenal also having a draw, also a 1-1 game. But Real Madrid are leading Napoli by 2-1. There's so much to talk about tonight. And of course, on this show, Austin Okonagban will be joining me much later on the program. But it's a Tuesday, and you have Kende Idris right here in the studio. So we'll just be starting the show together tonight. Good to have you.
It's good to be here, Cecilia. Always, looking forward to Tuesday. And I'm seeing the rundown. I'm one person who loves those sports that do not get, that much attention, like football, athletics, basketball, chess. There was a time I was super close when I was in uni. Chess players, I sit with them and they deeply think. There are people who think so well. So loved the fact that chess is here, and also what's happening with the NFF. 1 year in office, who would open up what they've done.
It's a scorecard, right? All right, okay, let's get into this. So we're starting up with chess. Of course, the challenge for who will be crowned the champion, of course, of the third edition of the National Chess Championship. Started in Lagos on Monday. And of course, and to kickstart this year's event, you have the Nigeria Chess Federation had to induct legends of the game, including former national champions, into the Hall of Fame at the opening ceremony. I mean, when something like that, it happens every year. Well, this is the third, so they decided that, look, this particular edition will be different, starting the opening ceremony with that induction. I think that's something you need to cherish, because they said it's always good for you to honor the legends, not when they are gone, but right there when they're still kicking, and of course, useful.
Fantastic. Honoring, we shouldn't be all about, castigating, punishing. There are times we should learn to give flowers and honoring those who have done so well in the sport or still doing well. Some are still doing probably for leisure and all of that, but their name is still there and they are still here. Fantastic. And also, when you have tournaments like this is the National Chess Championship. It shouldn't just be straight-jacketed, where everybody that comes, you just come and see chess players play. There should be things, we call paparazzi, that drives people there. Trust me, some people won't like sports, but they will like those things that go with sports. In that vein, they will start seeing, oh, so what are they doing there? And then they start taking interest. So when you tell them there will be induction, there will be this, there will be that, that is what gets their attention. When they now get there, you can't leave. You now have to follow the sports that you're also there for. And I think that's another idea to drive people down to sporting centers. You just have to think outside the box. And I love what National Chess Federation are done with that. Induction anywhere in the world always gets people's attention. It always feels like you're inspiring even those who are, probably be above that level of being inducted. They also feel, okay, maybe there is another field I could also put enough energy and get recognized after some years. And for the inductees, congratulations. You're getting your flowers while you're still here. It's not a case of my daughter came to pick it for me, or my son, or my wife, and all of that. You're here, or my husband, and they are getting their flowers. Fantastic one from NCF, and I want to see them do better. Always drive us to centers with different things. The sport is the center, but there should be other things added to it.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see. You saw the pictures earlier of kids are playing the game of chess. I'm actually looking forward to some athletes who were at the youth games. They will also be competing in this national chess championship. Remember when we had the tournament director, he was here on the program, was talking about, having the elite level where you have top athletes. Well, no matter the age, I mean, they will have to compete, the Blitz event, and so many that they've lined up for this event. I'm also looking forward to Evie. Yes, she's so active on social media. I mean, she has this ways of teaching other children chess, and she's also another kid. But let's take a look at this report, how it all started, or what went down during the opening ceremony of the 3rd National Chess Championship. A report put together by Irene Ewoma, our producer.
For the 3rd successive year, the Orchard Lekki Chess Club, in partnership with the Nigerian Chess Federation, is hosting the country's biggest chess event that produces national champions in the men and women categories.
The event can be a bit more dynamic.
Interestingly, this year's opening ceremony is taking a new twist. 7 personalities who are regarded as legends of the game and former national chess champions are being inducted into the Nigerian Hall of Fame. They include the founder of the Nigerian Chess Federation, Dr. Silvanus Ibigwe, a 2-time minister and national chess master, Vice Admiral Jibrila Ayinla, retired, former national junior champion Emmanuel Omoku, FIDE master of chess Fumilayo Augusto, among others, and 2 organizations are the pioneer inductees.
It means a lot to us that the flame we lit so many 50, 60 years ago is still burning brightly and even burning brighter. The Chess Federation, led by Deputy Inspector General of Police, Sani, retired, is doing a fantastic job. Chess has now, grown, in leaps and bounds, and it's just going to take a little more to produce grandmasters for Nigeria. You have to look now at the technical aspects of the game, because chess now has become very technical. There's a lot of material on the internet, and nowadays it's different from when we are studying from books.
I have worked hard to preach chess gospel all over the country from the 70s. And today you can see what's happening. Chess is everywhere. And the tournaments are going, both nationally and internationally. The nation has recognized chess as the scoring medal event in the National Sports Festival, All African Games, and equally in the Nuga Games. So it is a great honor.
The Nigerian Chess Federation is excited with the achievement recorded with the Chess Championship.
We cannot leave everything to government. Funding has been tough, but at least we have to look inward. Consistently, we have been, in the past when I was president, we've had 3 gold medals in All Africa Games, 3 gold medals in All Africa Games. About 3 All Africa Games, we had three gold medals. So we've been consistent on that. That is why we are a category A sport when it comes to All Africa Games.
This year's edition rounds off on October the 9th, as 12 top players will compete for the country's biggest chess title, while the competition is also open to chess lovers in the Blitz tournament, the open section and junior category.
Well, it starts today. Let's see what it started on Monday, but then you're having athletes already competing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because we see those who will be going home with so many medals. All right, Austin is ready to join us now from London. Austin.
For the greetings to you, Cecilia, and everyone joining us on the show tonight. Still an action-packed world of sports. I'm monitoring what's going on in the UEFA Champions League, the game between Manchester United and Galatasaray, and of course, Arsenal traveling all the way to France to take on Lens. But we're talking about the National Chess Championship. So let me quickly jump into that. We remember, I think it was last week, we had a tournament director, and we were asking him, ways that this competition can develop chess. I'm now seeing that it goes even just playing chess on the board.
Yeah.
They're inducting legends, they're encouraging people to come into, the game of chess. They are, giving young talent an opportunity to, show their chess skills. You mentioned chess players coming out of the national youth games and jumping right into the national championship. That's consistency right there, and they will keep improving. I love the fact that Channels Television was supporting this one big time. That's a contribution to the development of chess in Nigeria. And truly, Cecilia and Kehinde Idris, this is the way to go, because chess is beyond just playing a game. It develops the mental capacity, intellectuals, creates bonding, see kids, featuring in it. It's for the old, the young, and even the legends.
It's for everyone. And that's the beauty about chess. You see, like maybe a 50-year-old man competing against a 10-year-old kid. I mean, they don't
There we go.
That's what they're trying to do. I mean, it continues, of course, we are monitoring it and, just taking a look at what's currently going on at Lekki, where it's been held this year. All right, let's leave chess, because I know we can use this show to talk about chess and what's currently going on in Nigeria. And quickly go to Nigerian Football Federation, the board. What are they doing? It's been 1 year. They're in office, and today they tried to give the scorecard of what has been going on in the league. And of course, it's all about, taking the national team to a greater height. I mean, that's what they want to do, from the league to all the national teams from under 17 level, and us even building, infrastructure, which we've always been talking about. But Austin, I think I'll allow you to take this one, talking about how they can ensure the Super Falcons and, of course, the Super Eagles, how they can, ensure they get better.
Yeah, Cecilia, and I was just like, wow, 1 year already in office, and it's time for us to actually start, doing proper assessments. It's time for the NFF to, take it a step further, increase the followership of football in Nigeria. That's arguably the king of sports in the country, and we know where we're coming from. They have said that they want to take football in Nigeria to greater heights. We need to see workings. Enough of the talks. We want to see action. We want to see results. The Super Falcons did well at the last World Cup. What are the plans in place to keep it going? How much traction have we gotten from that fantastic performance that the Super Falcons had at the World Cup in Australia and New Zealand? The Super Eagles, where do we want to start with that, from the AFCON in Cameroon to not qualifying to the World Cup, and, some talks about welfare, finance, and all of that here and there. We know those issues. But then again, let's also remind this NFF board that football in Nigeria is not just Super Falcons and the Super Eagles. That means you are once again ignoring the foundation. We must always build from bottom to top. So let's talk about the future Eagles. I think it's at the under 13 level. Let's talk about the Golden Eaglets. Let's talk about the Flying Eagles. Let's talk about the Flamingos, the Falconets. Talk about football at that level where development is everything. I think I've said more than enough. Let's listen to the NFF, and their plans of taking football in Nigeria to greater heights, and then we'll come back. Kehinde Idris will dissect whatever they talk about. We'll be right back.
Tend to work hard with the secretariat and then closely with the Ministry of Sports to ensure that we have a smooth preparation and support for the Super Eagles in their quest to qualify for the World Cup 2026. Which will take place in USA, Canada, and Mexico. We are working with Coach Bashiro and his crew to harmonize plans and strategy to see that the Super Eagles win the African Cup of Nations, which is very key. We are now working hard planning to see how we can organize a repeating camp for them, to give them all the encouragement they require for us to see how we can win the Nations Cup once again. It's 10 years now. And by the grace of God, we give them our best, working with the Secretariat and the Ministry of Sports to see how we can achieve bringing back the trophy again after 10 years. We will work diligently with the head coach and his crew to see that the Super Falcons reclaim the Women African Cup of Nations. You see, I think it was last year in Morocco, we are still going back to Morocco by the grace of God. After, by the grace of God, we are going to qualify in November. We will see how we reclaim that trophy back. As well as you know about participation at the Olympics. And this month, I think around 28th, we are going to play our qualifying match for the Super Falcons against Ethiopia. We are working hard to see that we are back with regards to the Olympics. It's not good for us. We are not happy about it for 2 consecutive times for us. The boys are not there. So we want to see, we are working hard to see that at least the Super Falcons are in France.
So that's the NFF President Ibrahim Gusau talking about plans to, make the Super Falcons and Super Eagles formidable, particularly in Africa. Kende Idris, I want to keep the faith. I still love. No, I'm stuttering. I know, and it's difficult. But I heard Ibrahim Gusau said the Super Eagles will win the AFCON.
I think Nigerians are beginning to dream. I think also. Maybe I'll toe that line. I'm one of them. Looking at the setup of our attacking prowess as we have in the Super Eagles now, I think we can dream. I think we've got a crop that should do enough to get the trophy when it comes to the AFCON next year. Now we're looking at other teams who can compete. I think Nigeria have got enough to rub shoulder and also triumph over so many of these teams if we do the right things, especially start from preparation for the Nations Cup. And in the words of Gusau, you said something very murky. You said he should understand that football in Nigeria does not start and end with just the Falcons and the Eagles. Talking about Super Falcons and Super Eagles, there are other teams, the Flamingos, the Falconets, the Dream Team, and then you also have club football, because whether you like it or not, there are people who manage club football, but it's under the NFF. They weighed in to help do it, get it better. And I think all this should be all-encompassing. For a statement like this, we should be hearing touches on all of this. Yeah. But if we're hearing Super Eagles and Super Falcons alone, yes, we love these teams, but we also know that we also are winners if these teams are also winning. Or the club football, if there are better showing from the club football, it's a total win for the country. So it's wholesome.
Yeah, I think it was a full press conference, and these things you talk about actually touched on everything. Those, yes. But you have to pick, okay, which is the biggest news? Super Eagles is a big brand. Super Falcons is a big brand. Now, he talked about how he's working with the MPFL to ensure that the league is better. He talks about the NNL and the NLO and also the youth teams. He also mentioned that. He talked about a whole lot, everything concerning football. And that was what he did. And he didn't just stop there concerning those other teams, talking about the under-17 you talked about. He also mentioned that, especially with his success, the Flamingos recorded in India. When he just came in, that was his first assignment, when they won a bronze medal. He talked about that. And also he went further on infrastructure. I think Austin will be interested in this, and we're always talking about infrastructure, because he mentioned that most of the money they get is spending on hotels, and they want to use that FIFA Forward program 3.0. We've been talking about how they can harness this. I mean, FIFA give you money for development. What do you use it for? And he says we'll start seeing that by next year. I mean, they're going to start now, and of course by next year progress will have been made. So let's take a listen to him again, talking about infrastructure for all the national teams, not just Super Eagles, nor the Super Falcons.
By this time next year, we hope to have started and made some good progress on our hostel accommodation and a number of playing pitches for the national teams through our FIFA Forward to 3.0. There is a provision of the next stretch of support from FIFA is the FIFA Forward 3.0. And if you could remember, I tried to make it that I am going to use that opportunity to make sure that we construct a hostel, because one of the key problems we're having, a lot of some little resources coming to the NFL, we do spend them in the hotels. So if we're able to have a befitting hostel, it will help us to accommodate a lot of these young boys that we are inviting to come for the national team. And as well as, you see, we have only that pitch at the FIFA Gold Project, which is even a little bit depleted. So I feel it's important for us to have a new pitches, both
I believe that's what everybody wants to see something that they can be proud of. Most of you have been to Morocco, most journalists, and that's why they want to see something like that. But we need to go on a break. When we'll come back, of course, Sport Tonight will continue on all other platforms. But on DSTV, we're having a sponsored documentary, Inside Niger Delta. That's after the break. And of course, when we come back, we'll dissect what the NFF President Ibrahim Gusso just talked about. Welcome back. Okay, Austin, let me treat it. Austin, you listened to him talking about infrastructure. I know that's what you want to hear, the progress. So we're waiting for. So he's starting soon.
So he has given an open invitation to the media that we should monitor, what they are doing as regards what he has said they will do for infrastructure development. And when the NFF president said little resources, I was like, wait a minute, little, there's FIFA grants, there's some government money here and there, and you've got sponsors. We really need to take planning seriously. We should prioritize these things, and infrastructure is very, very important. We cannot emphasize so much of Morocco, and even South Africa, and to an extent Senegal. You see what Senegal they're doing for infrastructure development. We're not talking about it so much. We started talking about what they are doing on the pitch, forgetting that there was a blueprint first to develop infrastructure in Senegal, and then they started dominating. They have dominated Africa so good that they will not stop, because now they understand that before you get on the pitch, there are certain things you need to do to be respected. Yeah. And that's what we need to start doing in Nigeria, So I've said it, that was how I started this conversation. Yeah. Enough of the talks, the NFF should show workings. Now that you've had this presser, you've talked about, where you're coming in the last year, let's see a revised program, that will guide not just the media, but even them, say, we said we're going to do this quarter. This is how we've started. This is where we are, and this is where we're going. I think they need to be deliberate. Don't just say these things, and then you come back tomorrow and talk about the challenges that didn't make it happen. When you say things, go all the way and do it. Cecilia, we've overflogged this issue of infrastructure development. I really don't know why sports administrators, and to an extent even the government, the ministry, why they don't see it as something that is really important for the development of sports in Nigeria. I think it's everything. Why people go to Rwanda for sports is because of the infrastructure that President Paul Kagame and the Sports Foundation put in place. Why people go to Nairobi, Kenya, it's because of the infrastructure. Why we talk about Morocco, it's because of the infrastructure. South Africa. Before you talk about what they are doing with sports, it's infrastructure that comes first to mind. So it's about time for us to walk the talk, Cecilia. Yeah, it's important, really. Another thing he mentioned during the presser, Kende, was that he talked about the fact that they've had an agreement with the Super Eagles coach, Peseri, who will be in charge of the Chan national team. And, of course, he wants to ensure they qualify. I mean, he will miss out on two editions. And, of course, one thing he talked about, which I really love, is the fact that he will not be residing here from next month. When they're back from the friendlies, the friendlies in Portugal, Zimbabwe, and Saudi Arabia, he will be coming here, opportunity to watch games, and then those players, he can actually pick players easily to get into the national team. That's also another aspect that I love, because Austin is talking about, he said, little resources. If we check how much we spent for coaches in the last 5 years, I mean, we can do something better. And Senegal that he mentioned,
They have a local coach that have been with them how long now?
Yeah.
So when you don't have that resources and you bite more than you can chew, you discover that even the FIFA money that comes, you end up using to pay. It's not enough.
It's never enough.
Because $10,000 a month. I mean, you look at that and you look at the exchange rate. Okay, I'm going too far now. let's leave it there, because when you bring all this in,
the truth
how do you even cope?
The coach will be staying here now. I'm hoping it's not something
and taking a pay cut also.
It's been agreed with.
It's been agreed, yes, everything. So at the end of this month, we'll see that.
That's on one side. Number two, these coaches will love to stay anywhere as long as it's conducive enough. Trust me, one of the reasons why they want to be out there and all of that is because you've not given them what to sit with here that is conducive enough. He wants to be close to his team. It happened
with Denenbe. I don't know why he needed those things. He didn't get that. He had to walk away.
Exactly. So we should do that. And like Austin said, there are some things that precedes the success you get on the pitch.
Yeah.
These are infrastructure, creating a system where you plug and play. This person goes out, this person comes in. There is no adjustment. Just go with the system and success follows you. It's as simple as that. The moment we get that done, trust me, success would come over and over again. Yes, you might go to the AFCON and not win. You might go to the World Cup and not win. But people will see success in all of your teams. And that is where it starts from. Infrastructure where these young athletes, footballers can go, prepare favorably and get to, competitions feeling like they are ready for the world. The moment you have that feeling inside of you, trust me, you're already conquering, you're already winning. But if even you, the athletes or the players, is going to a competition and you feel like, am I sure I'm even ready? Then there is a problem. So we should get those in place, and we would have athletes are ready. Footballers are ready. Just get them the templates. Create that environment, and you'll see numbers and numbers coming, after generation, and success, follows us.
Success follows. Now, let's talk about the international friendlies that are coming up. We know the players that will be, playing the game against Saudi Arabia and, of course, against Zimbabwe. You know the reason why we're picking Zimbabwe? Because the teams are in Lesotho and the likes are in that group. They're in this southern part of Africa. Let's just take a look at the names, starting with the defenders. Yeah, so the defenders of the invited players for that friendly. Olaluwaino from Nottingham Forest, England. He is a part of the team. Bright Usai Samuel from Fenerbahce in Turkey. Jordan Torunariga of Ghent in Belgium. Kenneth Omeri Kasipasa, Turkey. Oluwashemilogo Ajayi, West Brom, England. So these are the defenders. So let's flip over. Continue with the defenders. You have Kelvin Bassey of Fulham, Jamie Collins of Cardiff of Wales. You have Bruno Oyemachi Bovista in Portugal. So he's right there at home. So it's easy for him to just, I'll take a ride and get into the Super Eagles camp. Go to the main field where you have Wilfred Ndidi of Leicester City, England, Rafael Oyendika of Club Brugge in Belgium, Joe Aribo, of course, Southampton, England, Frank Oyeka, Brentford, England, Alessi Iwobi, Fulham, England. You also have Fisayo Dele Bashiru, Ataspor in Turkey. That's where he plays. These are the midfielders. Now let's go to the forwards. Everyone always talking about the firepowers that the Super Eagles have. Now, Kelechi Iheanacho, Leicester City, Samia Chukwueze, AC Milan, Moses Simon, Nantes in France, Ademola Lookman, Atalanta in Italy, Victor Osimhen, Napoli is in action against Real Madrid tonight, playing in the Champions League. Taiwo Awoniyi in Nottingham Forest in England, Tyrone Murphy, Nice in France, and Victor Boniface, Bayer Leverkusen in Germany. So when you see these players, you understand how big it is. And that's why Nigerians are asking. I mean, we can win the Nations Cup with this crop of players. So we'll finish it up with the goalkeepers. Francis Uzoho Omnia in Cyprus, Olorunloke Ojo, Eyimba, and of course, Adebayo Adeleye Ohapo, Jerusalem in Israel. So these are the players that will be playing that friendly against Saudi Arabia and Zimbabwe. The list is complete for all of them. I know there's some players you want to see, but you can't have it all simply because not everyone can play at the same time. The coach understands. Some will ask you, where are the home-based players? But you can also, we can't have them simply because it's hard. I mean, league is not in session. The league just started last weekend, so you have these players all set for those two friendlies. The friendlies, are they really, world class, or because of the qualifiers we have? That's the whole
I think because of the qualifiers, get the boys playing, let the coach see more of his players. You know, there is difference in the way you play in your club and the way you play with the boys in the national team. Like they always say, national team does not have the luxury of buying the kind of players they want.
Yeah.
If you've been given this set of players, you work
You're
with
stuck
them.
with them.
You're stuck with them, and then you find the best way to use them. And friendlies, when there are no competitive games, are ways to know how these guys are. Then also, playing Saudi Arabia in recent time, just the World Cup. Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, and they've been on a high. Look at it's become the new mecca of, football export. Everybody wants to play in Saudi Arabia. And that tells you also that the national team would have a way of growing because so many of those boys play there, play with the cream de la cream of football. So it's a good team right now. Then for Mozambique, I think you understand the kind of teams you have in your group, and then you want a touch of such team. Then Mozambique also can be very technical, on their day. So I think we're selected friendlies. But for me, whichever friendlies it is, let me just see the, team being in action and then, get to understand them better. For Jose Pesero, the Nations Cup is around the corner. He needs to continue to see these boys. Dele Bashiru just came in. So you would want to see how are we. Then Victor Boniface, fantastic for club, played one game. You want to see how well he gels with the team. The Nations Cup, we need the best to be there. Like you said, everybody will not be there.
Yeah, not everyone will be there. But keep on inviting new players. Okay, well, he's a coach, so he's got a headache because he has so many talents. He want to include everyone. So let's go to the CAF Confederations Cup. Yes, the Nigerian team, the CAF Champions League, all of them just like Aimba. Oh, it's still painful. Okay, Rivers United, fans were already leaving the stadium thinking, okay, what happened the last time was going to happen again. But somehow they left it so late. When I mean late, so late. Some people felt it ended goalless, but somehow they were able to pull something back. Austin, when you were watching this game, what was going through your mind? You were thinking, okay, Benin Insurance, yes, they tried. They lost by a lone goal, but hey, they're out. That's the point. They had no business considering the goals they considered at Samuel Bonda Stadium, but then they went away. They just couldn't hold on. They were out. So what was going through your mind when you were watching this game, against Filante? Look at Etwe Filante, Burkina Faso. Rivers can take these teams out, but then they had to wait, extra time. I got tired at some point.
You cracked me up with the Burkina Babes. I expressed my disappointment in the first game, when they went to Yamoussoukro. That was a neutral ground. Just go there, win 1-0, win 2-0, and just come here and prove a point. You don't need to put your fans through all of these problems. You wait till when people see the stadium and see people already leaving, like what's going on. But that's football. It's not over until it is over. Just that it is good to watch football with the right blood pressure. People should not be taking, particularly if you have some, some problems with your health, and then you go to the stadium just to have a good time, and then in the stadium now, because the team is playing, you now go and get into a bad state, But I'm glad they found a way to win it 2-0. They left it so late, but it was good enough to take Rivers United into the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup. I still feel bad, as regards what happened to Benin Insurance, but it is what it is. I knew it was going to be so difficult against RS Berkane in the second leg, But shout out to Rivers United. I just don't know. There's something about Rivers United that I don't like when they play on the continent. And they're already giving me that vibe before getting to the group stage. Hopefully they will change it this year. They will do something different this time around. They will learn from their mistakes, and just when you have an opportunity, just execute. Execution matters, particularly when you are playing with small teams that can hurt you. Just do the job and move on. So congratulations are in place. Let's listen to Coach Stanley Eguma. I'm just wondering, how is Stanley Eguma doing these things, particularly when you have your team, trying to test your blood pressure? Stanley Eguma.
they will come to pack the bus because they were trying to try to get it through penalties, and that is what almost worked out for them. But I think our undoing was a loss of penalties, which we got. You know, the players who missed those penalties, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of resilience, and you know, the pressure was so much on them, and that almost put us under severe pressure. But thank God that we showed character later in the game and then bounced back to getting those 2 goals. I think it was a difficult game, but I thank the players, you know, for getting the victory. I think we'll take it from there. We still have the hope for the next stage of the competition. So with the league now resuming, I think it's going to give us a very good preparation for the group stage of the competition. And by the time you will play in the competition, you will get better. I think I'm quite sure that I'm optimistic that in the group stage we're going to do better than we've done today. Knowing the stage we are in, if you don't win at the regulation time, then you must go into penalties. The game was going to penalties. We prepared for it. And I must tell you that the guy who lost the first penalty, Endurance, one of the best penalty takers in the team. If you have practiced it, and I asked him to play. The second player who played, he also experienced player, Farouk. He also knows how to play penalty. But I think the stage and there was a lot of anxiety in them, and you know that made them to lose their head. Even the guy who played the third penalty, Alex Oyowa, he's one of the best in the team, and I wasn't surprised when he took his penalty very well. So we practiced, and you know, penalty kick, you can never tell. You know, at a stage of this magnitude, the player, even the best player in the team, can lose penalty.
Yeah, Coach Stanley Guma agree that anybody can lose a penalty. But Kehinde Idris, when you're playing a crucial match, you are not going to be losing 2 penalties and then wait till the 89th and 90th minute to win a game, please.
Yeah, you've captured it right. Sometimes when you watch this game, make sure you're watching with the right blood pressure. I think it will go a long way. I think our teams, maybe I'm overthinking. This is continental football. This is things are not forgiven easily here. This is the biggest stage. Everybody have got their eyes on you. If you want to, be in conversation with those top teams, RS Bakin, Al Ahly, and all of that, you kill off teams. Etoile Filante is not in that. You mentioned it. Likewise, myself, when we played 0-0, against a Burkina Faso team. In neutral ground, exactly. It's not acceptable in any way. I won't lie to you. I was talking with some of my colleagues. I said probably they should have even swapped. I think Bendel Insurance playing RS Bakin with little or no experience at this level, I think Bendel Insurance even did, had a better show. Yes, you want to say those goals considered in the first leg, not forgiven. But you should also remember, they've not been here in a long while. So many of those players never played at this level. For Rivers United, players, coach, management, everybody had been at this level over and over again. Yeah. I think we should be seeing them doing better. And I think I was more livid with Rivers United. And at a point, I felt, okay, whichever way, if you like, qualify, if you like, don't qualify is your problem. Forgetting that I'm rooting for them because they are a Nigerian team. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. So going into the group stage, I think we should understand that better. Maybe there should be a psychologist or something. This is continental football. Yeah. You kill teams off, you let them understand. And there is something about good winning. The next opponent is already scared of what you did in this game.
Message. That's right.
It's so apt. All right, let's just have, maybe we can have a confirmation of what went down on Friday. That's Ben Insurance game and also Rivers United game that was played on Sunday. We'll just get confirmation of both games. And just to remind you also that the draws for the CAF Confederation Cup will be done October 6th. That's when the draws will be done. Of course, 16 teams have qualified into group of 4. Rivers United will be hoping to have a comfortable group. Yeah, that's the results. Just second preliminary round. Rivers United beating Etoile Filante by 2-0. The first leg ended goalless, aggregate at 2-0. Of course, for Benin Insurance, a draw at home 2-2, but they went away. They lost by a lone goal Friday night, and it ended 3-2 on aggregate, and that's why they are out. So right now, you just have only one team, Rivers United, representing Nigeria at the CAF Confederations Cup. That's the second tier of the continent, the second tier and the continent. Enyimba, of course, they are playing in the Super League. You know why Enyimba has been chosen. I mean, back-to-back CAF champions. They've been able to do that. They crashed out the group stage at the CAF, Champions League. But then, not even the group stage. Did they get that? No, they didn't. So it was so early that they're out. We can't even remember that they competed. But then this is what you have, how it all went down with Nigerian teams on the continent. So I think we need to move into the UEFA Champions League. Austin, I don't know if you have a little update for us. What's coming from, where do we start? Manchester? No, I think, Old Trafford, what's going on if it's still 1-1? And what's going on with Lens, Arsenal away from home? And also what's going on with Napoli and Real Madrid. Real Madrid also away from home playing at Napoli.
Cecilia, I do not have updates for you. I'm bringing drama. Drama from Old Trafford. You know, at the time, I thought that Manchester United were going to go all the way to do it because it was the same Orange that scored the first goal that got the second goal. Remember, it ended 1-1 at halftime because Wilfred Zaha drew level for Galatasaray. Now, get ready. The drama started. Manchester United came back into it 2-1. And then it became 2-2. Then Casemiro was shown a red card. Minutes after Galatasaray drew level, they scored another goal. So it's Manchester United 2, Galatasaray 3. That's the UEFA Champions League for you. It comes with so much drama. I do not even know how to start talking about this script because it looked like Manchester United, they were going away with the win until that happened. Now, let me tell you what's going on in France. It's Lens 2, Arsenal 1.
Okay. All right. I'll keep it down there. Let's look at the games that will be played on Wednesday. Let's just run through that. We have just a little preview of the games that will go down. Okay. This is what you have Wednesday's fixtures. Group E, Atletico Madrid and Feyenoord will be in action. Celtic and Lazio also in action in Group F. Dortmund and AC Milan will also be in action. That's what we'll be waiting for Samuel Chukwueze. Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain. The coach has been talking about how they intend to catch the best player in the world, Kylian Mbappe. That might just be a difficult one. Let's flip over to the other groups. You go to Group G where you have Red Star Belgrade and Young Boys in action. Leipzig and Manchester City. Remember the result last season? 1-0. The next one was 7-0. That's what Man City can do to you. Royal Antwerp and Shakhtar Donetsk will also be in action in Group H. And the final group, which is Group H, the final game is FC Porto and Barcelona. Of course, Pep Guardiola has been talking, about this game. If we have time, we can just take a listen to him and then we'll wrap up the show.
An incredible run at home last season. We had in our bones that we want to do it, we want to try to reach the final again. And since the first minute, we felt it. But now it's group stage is completely different. And I have fresh that game, but I have fresh the game we play in Leipzig too. How intense they are, how typical Red Bull team, Leipzig with Marco Rose, always the same manager doing really, really good things, and how attack the space and a lot of people in the middle. So, we try to go there because it's a huge step for us. If we are able to get good result, we make a step forward to qualify for the next round. I don't know what's going to happen this season. It was too early to know exactly, but I have more than admiration and more than, wow, what about these players, what they have done in the past, they have done so far. So it's unbelievable. So we concede 2 shots on target, we concede 1 goal, and after that we were there most of the times. You have 23 shoots, not all already on target. When a 10 plays in the box, never is easy, and we lost the game. It's part of football. Of course, we had to improve. So last game against Wolves, the basis of the fundamental players we had last season, the last 3 months of the last season, when we played the final season, it was Rodri, John Stones, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva was not there. So 6 players. That the war, everybody knew it because they played really, really good, was important. And that you need sometimes you have to adjust something. But it's normal. So we are not going to win the Premier League against Wolves. We are not going to lose the Premier League against Wolves. We have been in the position to be behind the leader these years many, many times. So maybe the first year were 100 points. We lead from the beginning until the end in other leagues, but the other ones always were behind and behind.
Yeah, Pep, talking to the press ahead of the game against Leipzig. 1-1, it ended the first leg away from home. And then at home, it was 7-0. They went ahead to win the Champions League. Leipzig is also with them again this time around. Wrap this up.
Yes. Man City is one of those teams, aside being a defending champion, a good team. So everybody have got their eyes. But like Austin said, today's games, we're already seeing drama. I think there will be more drama tomorrow.
Tomorrow, drama. Austin, let's wrap this up. We got to go.
Gotta go. This is the timeline of events that happened at Old Trafford. 77th minute, Casemiro was shown a red card, and then a penalty was awarded to Galatasaray. Mauro Icardi stepped up, scored it. 78th minute, he was scoring a second goal to make it to Galatasaray 3, Manchester United 2. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonak, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
So much drama happening right there at Old Trafford. That's where they lost their game at the weekend, right? Yeah, Ten Hag, I think his job is on the line right now. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's always lovely doing this with you.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a good night, right?